rise up, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, kings and queens, friends, frenemies, and you agents. My name is Brother Marley, and this is the SENEGAMBIA One channel. Today, I'm speaking to anyone between the age of 20 and let's say 32. 30, yeah, 20 and 32. Between those ages, I'm talking to you. We're going to be talking about how you get the best out of the next 20 years of your life. I'm 30 years ahead of you, okay? I'm 50 this year. So I've got enough advice to give you. So we're going to go for a walk on this beach. Me and you, we're going to go for a walk. You ready? All right, let's go. In 1989, a book was released by a man called Stephen Covey. It was called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And the first habit that he mentioned, I don't know if it was the first one, but it was the one that stuck with me all this time, was start with the end in mind. So here you are at the start of your adult life. You've got another 30 years to get to where I am. But what you do now, and even more what you don't do now, will affect and impact what happens in your life later. Understand? So start now thinking about what's going to happen, what kind of life you're going to lead later. Man's are bringing their boat up on the beach. Let me help move out of their way. So think about that. When I was young, I was into database programming. That was like the first serious job I had. And I got this contract, and this contract was worth, I don't know, like £25,000. At the time, in my job, I was earning about £19,000 for the year. So to get a contract, which was going to take me about 3 weeks to do, for 25 grand, seemed a-okay. Seemed great. I was so proud, so happy to even be able to get that contract. So what had happened was, I had a friend who says, yeah, she needs me to help her with building a database for her charity. I said, okay, yeah, cool, no problem. So I told her it was going to cost her like £700 or something like that. Said no, she can't afford to pay me no money. But if I do this charity, well, water, that's a lot of water. But if I can do this database for her, what she'll do is introduce me to a man at her office who needs a database, and I could get that contract. So I agreed to it. Whatever, okay, no problem. I wasn't too happy about having to do 2 projects, but let's go for it, innit? So I went for it. At the time, as I said, I was earning 19,000 a year. She told me that she's in accounting and she can see his budget, and his budget is 25,000. If I say 25,000, he'll say yes. So the man told me what he needed. It wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard. It was like a little searching thing and a little thing to remind people as to when. It was easy. It was like just a program that you could use to manage people borrowing items and bring them back on time. Very simple. So I was like, yeah, I could do that. That's easy. When the man said how much, I couldn't even say the word 25,000. I couldn't say the words 25 grand. I couldn't say it. I tried my best, but at that moment, the amount of pressure, the voice in my head saying, "No, it's not going to happen. No, you can't make that much money. Now you're stealing from him. No, it's not possible." That was what was at the forefront of my mind, you know. So I got a post-it note and I wrote it down, and I said, "Here you go." I gave it to him. I'm asking him, and I don't even want to say the money. I don't even say the number. So I know it looks weird, and I'm trying not to act weird, and I'm acting very weird. This guy, his name was Ed Scrutton. I will never forget his name. He looked at it and he goes, "Yeah, okay." and he put it in his folder. So I said, sorry, okay, what does that mean? Does that mean you'll think about it? Does that mean you agree? He said, no, yeah, it's fine. I said, okay, cool, no problem. Meanwhile, I didn't believe that he would actually come through. Because who pays 25 grand for like 3 weeks? I'll say a month. But who pays 25 grand for a month's work? I get 19,000 for a year's work. Ed Scrutton sent me the first 50%, like 3 days later on. When that 12,500 hit my account, I thought I was the man. I thought I was so great. I thought I was amazing. I was like, look what I did. Aren't I clever? This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Oh, that's a big one. Ow. Ooh. Shells. Ouch. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, I thought. Turns out, I finished off the contract with Ed, and he was happy. I was ecstatic. Everything was good. And there was no more contracts after that that I could find. I tried to use that as an example of how good I am with other companies, but other companies were like, sorry, what's the name of your company? I'm like, yeah, it's just me. And they were like, no thanks, and they weren't interested. Meanwhile, that money, I spent it on being the man and having a great life and not on anything sensible. I had a friend called Rayhan. And Rayhan said to me, you know, you should put a deposit on a house. Put a deposit on a house. You could get a house and you could flip it and blah, 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 blah. And you can remortgage it and get a second house and da, da, da. You give me all this game. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that on the next contract. This contract, I'm going to go enjoy myself because I'm the man. Anyway, 30 years later, I wish I had that house. I wish I had listened to Rayhan. So the things that you do now and the things you don't do now will have big impacts on the rest of your life. So start things now with the end in mind, with what's going to happen at the end, what's going to happen afterwards. Think about that stuff because that's important. If you don't think about it, you will be in pain, you'll be living in pain later. Understood? Good. Okay, so the second one, fortify your mind is the second one. Fortify your mind. You know, I was listening to Bob Proctor. You know Bob Proctor? Bob Proctor is one of these people that he's passed away now, but you know, he would talk a lot about how to manifest the type of life that you want in your life. And he said that if we were to use our bodies as effectively as we use our minds, all we'll be doing is just moving one little finger. Like, we've never taken into consideration what happens for real, for real. Let me turn this around. This is too rocky. Look at that. That's too rocky for my feet. My feet are delicate. I wear socks. Just a quick interruption to your viewing. Listen, I am now selling an ebook. I have an ebook which goes into moving from where you are over to Africa. So from the West over to Africa, the rules are different over here. There's a lot of things to learn, a lot of things that can go wrong. You've seen the stories, you've seen the harrowing stories of people who've come over here not knowing what they don't know and then getting burnt for it. I've been in Gambia for a long time, okay? I've been learning how the system works. I've been learning who I need to talk to and how I need to behave, how we kind of interact with people. So, trust and believe, I know what I'm talking about. What I'm trying to offer you is an opportunity to know what I know. And while I got your attention, I know you can see this sign over here. Look, do a brother a favor and subscribe. Shut up, donkey. To the channel. Subscribe. 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 The link to the ebook is in the description below. Alright. You see, you have an unlimited amount of storage space. You can learn whatever you want to learn. You can take on whatever this world has to throw at you. Now, of course, I'm not stupid. Of course, there's such thing as feeling sad or feeling down. I understand that. But you don't need to wallow in the arms of depression. You don't need to be like, okay, you know what, I'm depressed and I feel this way, and I'm going to now spend time analyzing for weeks and weeks on end why I feel this way. Because what will happen is the more time you spend considering why you feel the way you feel, you're going to create more ways of feeling the way you feel. This sand is so flipping hot. Oh my God, hold on. Yo! Woo! Yeah. Ah. Oh, yes. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's good. What was I saying? There's a lot of people, both in pharmaceuticals and in naturopathic remedies, that make a lot of money out of you dealing with how you feel about things, not what you do about things, not strategizing who can help you with whatever it is, but how you feel about it. Don't let other people take advantage of your sadness. Don't let other people like pimp you for money at your most vulnerable. See and understand that actually you've got everything you need. Mentally, you've got everything you need. Emotionally, you've got everything you need. Believe you me, the kind of things that I've had to deal with in my life is enough to leave many people very sad and very depressed. And while I recognize how I feel about it, while I recognize I feel sad about something, or I'm upset about something, or I feel lost, like when my mum died, like my first divorce, these things they grab hold of you, they hold on to you. And it feels distressing. But the only way to get around it, the only way to stop feeling that way, the only way to deal with that is to, instead of sitting down with someone and saying, oh yeah, you know what, I feel very sad because of this and this and this, and how that makes me feel is this and this and this, and you know, these are the possible outcomes of how I feel, X, Y, and Z. Instead of going through all that madness, you decide. You decide that you're going to do better next time. You decide that you're going to have your own private time to say goodbye to your mum. You wish her well on the journey. When that happens, you get to decide how you're going to interface with that situation. How interface with my mum passing away was that I was clear that she was at peace. I was clear that she was no longer feeling, she was no longer in pain because of the cancer. She's very she's very studious. She likes to look at finer detail, find details of things. You know, she's very good at that. Remembering details and so on and so forth. That's her strength. So I consider that maybe now that she's passed on, the job that God gave her is to build, the tiny seahorses in the sea, tiny plankton, tiny things that would need detail orientation. So that's the kind of spirit she had in this world. But now I'm thinking that she is free, she has no stress, that she's happy, that she has no pain. And that's all right with me. That's good with me. So you get to decide how you interface with things, all right? Fortify your mind. If people tell you you can't do something or something is impossible, that is their point of view. That is absolutely true for them. They don't know you. They don't know how strong-willed you are. They don't know how strong your mind is. They don't know that stuff. So they're going to be talking to you as though it's them in your situation. They can't handle your situation. When they tell you you can't do it, that's them telling you that they couldn't handle your situation. So go for what you want. Do your thing, yeah? Okay. The next piece of advice I can give you is to eat right. The food that you buy at the supermarket is poisonous. It's cancerous. It's bad for you. It makes you overweight. It makes you overeat. It gives you way too much salt. And then the Food and Drug Administration, who are there to ensure that the food companies are doing their jobs, is financed by the companies that's supposed to be overseeing. So they don't feel incentivized to tell those businesses, yeah, you can't sell the thing you just spent all that money creating and designing. So none of it's any good at all. So the system is one that you have one set of people who are poisoning you, and another set of people who are supposed to protect you are actually protecting the people who are doing the poisoning. So you've got to be very careful. You've got to be very aware of what it is you're eating. So for me, I still think I have a sweet tooth. I still love a sweet tooth. But I remember the days when I would have a hot drink and have a coffee or something. Like I'd go to Starbucks or something and I'd need like 4 sugars in there. Now I don't need any sugar in there. Now I don't even want any sugar in there. I don't even need it. I don't even want the sugar. So people would be saying to me, yo, what do you want for dessert? I don't need any dessert. I'm good. I've had this food and I'm fine. Do you want chicken or do you want beef? I don't want any meat. Oh, just a veg. The veg is good for me. I'm fine. That isn't me having to work at that. That is just normal now. But what it's ensuring is that I'm fitter now than I was when I was your age. When I was your age, I was overweight with the high blood pressure. Diabetes was definitely on the way. So manage your diet. Okay, manage your diet for a couple of reasons. One, because you don't want to be 50 years old and be dead. You want to live longer than I am. Okay? And secondly, because while you are alive, you want to enjoy your life. You want to enjoy life. You want to enjoy being alive. You want to enjoy going out for long walks on the beach. You want to enjoy going into the forest and climbing a tree. You want to enjoy walking with your top off. All that's available just out of you watching what you eat, being mindful of what you eat, what you put into your body. It's completely for the best. It's in your best interest to do that. So watch what you eat. We clear? Okay, good. Next thing, own, don't rent. Own, do not rent. Now, why do I say own, don't rent? Again, the system that we live in, we're all being pushed away from owning anything. It's 2024, and I remember 2022, World Economic Forum saying, you will own nothing, you'll be happy. That's nonsense. As best you can own something. Now, when I say own something, I don't mean just any old nonsense. I don't mean just own the latest pair of sneakers. I mean own an asset. Own an asset. The asset can bring in money for you. Because if you don't have that, then you are bound to work. And you are bound to work to pay other people for things that you need. So you're not even working in order for you to have, so you're not even working for you to have something, for you to have some money or some credit. It's so that you can pay someone else for the things that you need. So you're just standing on one spot, just moving over sand. You're not actually making any forward movement. And these people have decided that you'll be happy doing it. It's nonsense. You have to get assets. You have to assetify. Assetify, yeah. Assetify your life. Get your assets. Now, usually an asset would be something, you think, a house. Well, I'm going to buy a house, Marty. I've got just lots of house money sitting in my pocket. Start small, start micro, start tiny. So I used to give you an example. I used to live in Brixton, and across the road from where I lived was the Brixton Academy. And the Brixton Academy had all types of people come there, types of bands come there and play music, right? So you'd have like Bon Jovi one day turn up, or you'd have another band, you'd have, I don't know, I don't even know all these white bands, I don't even know the names of them. So excuse me for my ignorance. But you'd have these bands turn up. And what would happen is that people would drive up, but there's nowhere to park in Brixton. So what I would do is I joined this website where you can rent out your parking space. So I have a parking space for people to come and rent their car, put their car for the time that they're at the concert. And that was a tiny asset I had. That tiny asset on a good month would make about £800 for the month. On a bad month, it would make about £300 for the month. But still, at £800 a month, £300 a month, You know, that is a bill or something or a service that I've now got for free. You know, I'm £300 closer to being free than without that asset. If you've got and you are comfortable doing it, if you've got a spare room, rent that backside out. Rent that rent that room out. Rent that room out because whoever's going to be paying for that room, they'll put that money would go towards you paying for your mortgage or paying for your rent or whatever. So whereas you might have been paying, let's say, 1,000 per month, now you're only having to find 600 or 400 for the month, depending on how big a room is that you're renting out. There's one sister I know. She's over in the Gambia, and she showed me pictures of her house. And what she had done was that she had turned her living room into a bedroom. It's like a bedroom with a seating area. It's very nice. It's very nice what she had done. You know, she had lamps around the place. She had plants in there. It's a gorgeous little place. But her living room now had a lock on it, so a person could lock their things away. She was able to continue her life. She had paid for her house, so she was able to live in her house without having to pay any mortgage. Meanwhile, she was making herself £800 for the month for nothing for renting out this part of her house. So you could definitely do something like that. Something along those lines. I don't care if it's your sofa. I don't really care what it is. There's some ladies out there who can put their Jimmy Choos on a website and rent those out. But then, like, for some poor girl who's trying to look good, whatever it is and however you do it, get yourself some assets. So your assets can take care of you. Assetify your life. That's the way to do it. That's the word of the video, okay? I don't say that's the word of the day. It's the word of the video. Hate to have to label the point, but your laptop. Make sure your laptop is there for work. Make sure it's there as an asset. Make sure you can make money from your laptop. Make that laptop pay for itself. Don't buy your laptop just so you can share photos and play on Facebook. Use it for something useful. You have a Facebook account, get yourself a Facebook page. On that Facebook page, you put videos on there so you can then monetize those videos and monetize your Facebook account that way. If not, sell things on your Facebook page. If you don't even have a page and you want to sell it on your profile to your friends, get as many friends as you can. Here's what I would do. For example, right? I'll give you the C as a background. Let's do it this way. Your water stop. Okay. Let's say Facebook is let's say it's going to be Facebook, for example. Create a page around a hobby or an interest. Let's say the hobby is, my God, I can't even think of anything. Let's say the hobby is fishing, right? Right by the sea. Let's say it's a fishing Facebook page. Do you need to be interested in fishing? No, not really. Because we're going to assetify your Facebook account. Create a page around fishing. Find you as many articles about fishing as you can online. Post those every few days, right? Post those. Go on ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT to help you with it. Think of things like lists of things that you would need as a fisherman. What type of fishing is it? Is it deep sea fishing or is it by the local pond? Consider all those areas. Even if even if you're not interested in, I'm not asking you to think of something that you're interested in. I'm like, think of a general interest that people have. You can create a Facebook page around. Once you have that, put things for sale on that Facebook page. Sell rods, sell bait, sell waders, sell boots, sell whatever you want, sell whatever you want. Sell the electric plastic fish that you hang up on the wall. Sell those, whatever it is. I satisfy your laptop. Make that Facebook make you money. Don't you sit there just spending your time for nothing, just liking stupid comments. No. Now, that's my example. I'm sure as a younger and more, you're more locked into this online stuff than I am. So I'm sure you can think of something better than that idea. But just think of an idea like that where you can actually make your laptop make money for you and do that. Okay? All right. Okay, next one. Make integrity your practice. Practice integrity in everything you do. Integrity is so important. It's so important. Let me show you what I mean. Now you see this building here. You see the legs underneath it? Each one of those legs are there for a purpose, to hold up the building. That's where the load is on those different parts of the building going into the ground. Now, if one of those legs was taken out, now there must be what, 20 legs there? If one of those legs were taken out, the whole building is at risk. The same with a bicycle wheel. A bicycle wheel has how many spokes in each wheel? I don't know. But those little thin rods of metal that hold that wheel together, they're all spaced out exactly the same. They all hold the same amount of weight. The minute you take one of those out, all it takes is one pothole and that wheel will buckle. The wheel will bend because one of those thin rods were gone. Same way you have in your life a whole bunch of areas where people are relying on you. So people rely on you to pay what you owe them. People are relying on you to be at work at a certain time. People are relying on you to look after certain people, look after the pets, look after whatever. But if you're unable to do that or unwilling to do that, if you're one of these people where you're like, well, I'll pay that bill another time, I'll pay that bill next month, I'll have to be late this month because I'd much rather spend that on some sunglasses or something stupid. Or if you've got an opportunity to steal something from somebody and you choose not to, and you choose to do that, sorry. Oh, what will suffer will be your integrity. And once it goes out in one place, the whole thing starts to fall apart. The whole thing starts to fall apart. You think you're going to have an enjoyable love life while you haven't paid your bills? No, because sooner or later that problem of not paying your bills is going to become your partner's problem as well. So you need to have integrity in all areas. All areas. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't a moralistic talk. This isn't about morals, not about what's right and wrong, or what's good and bad. Honestly, I don't really care about morals or what's good or bad or right or wrong. This is just about integrity. So even if you look on TV and you see these entertainers and they're singing about what girls they're with and how many they're with and what drugs they're taking and how many drugs they're taking and so on and so forth. And that person in real life is messing with those girls and taking those drugs. No one's tripping over that. People are cool with that. But if you're singing that lifestyle, but your life is you're the power bottom at a Diddy party, that's a problem because you have no integrity. Understand, it's not about what's right and wrong, what's good or bad. This is about being your word. Your word is your bond. Having integrity in your life in all areas will only help you. And when you don't have it, you will spend so much time trying to play catch up, trying to convince people that you can actually trust, they can rely on you, they can trust your word, and so on and so forth. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy. You don't need to be doing that. All you got to do is decide what your life is going to be and then have integrity with that. Got it? Okay. So I'm going to do my whole list in this one video. We're going to split up into two. So click here, take you to the other video, and we'll continue our conversation. Back at the house.